What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue. Before we get into this video, I do want you guys to know that this video is not being sponsored by Colt 45. Anyway, let's take a tug on that. I can't beat a good malt liquor. Anyway, what we're going to be doing, just some basic barbecue ribs. What's going to make these ribs special is I'm going to be using chicken and rib rub from a company called the Tango Spice company. He has a YouTube channel as well as a website. I'm going to put a link to his YouTube channel in the iCard above and a link to his site in the description below. Got some good rubs. My wife is partial to, there's some kind of a southwest, or not a southwest, there's a real kind of a spicy rub that she really likes, but we're rolling with the chicken and rib rub on this. What we're going to be using in place of barbecue sauce, another YouTube channel by the name of the Root Boy Cook sent me some szechuan spicy sauce, I guess, that you would typically use in a stir fry. We're going to be adding this to the ribs down the road. Anyway, the first thing I'm going to do, I've already got the membrane taken off of the rib, and we're just going to kind of go over it lightly with this rub. I think that the sauce we have is going to give it plenty of flavor, so we don't want to hit it too much. This is just going to be super light. And as far as the smoker we're going to be using, you know, I had to get rid of two of my, or actually three of my Weber Kettle Grills, because I just bought this house and it has a deck, and the other two Webers I had did not have the ash catcher on it. So I was looking around, found the Weber that we're going to be using on Craigslist for $50. I think he said he used it about 5 times, so that's what we're going to be using. Anyway, I'm going to finish rubbing these down with this seasoning, and we'll be back. So this is about as much rub as we put on those ribs right there. I have my Weber kettle fired up, so let's run over there and take a look at how I have it set up. So how I have this grill set up is I have one of those cheap Dollar Tree foil pans in the middle, charcoal on the outside of the pan. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a little bit of this Colt 45 that we were drinking on a little bit earlier. As far as wood goes, what we're going to do is add some cherry wood to it. So I have one big chunk of cherry wood. We're just going to throw that on one side. Then I have 3 little chunks we're going to throw on the other side. And I'm going to let this come up to temperature, scrub this grate down, and get these ribs on. Now that we have this Weber rolling, we're just going to go ahead and throw these ribs on. Just going to throw them in the middle. Our cooking temperature on this is going to try to be around that 250 to 270 area. Somewhere in that range should be good. Anyway, I'm going to check on these again in about another 3 hours. I may spritz it down with a little bit of this beer. I may not spritz it at all, but I will let you know. We are about an hour and a half in on this smoke. It looks like my bark is set. So what I'm going to do, I am going to just kind of come over with a little bit of this beer. I don't have my spritzer here. I'm moving from another house, so I got stuff kind of everywhere. So we're just going to kind of throw it in like that, and there we go. Like I said, in 3 hours we're going to go ahead and probably get this thing wrapped up. Alright guys, we're about 2 hours and 40 minutes into this. I'm going to go ahead and hit this with a little bit of this Colt 45. Let this go for about another 20 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get my foil and everything ready for our next step. So right now we are right at 3 hours into this process. I'm going to go ahead and throw some of this Szechuan spicy sauce on top of these ribs. And this sauce is a little bit thicker than I thought it was. So what we're going to do, normally if I was just doing regular ribs, I'd throw some butter, brown sugar, stuff like that down. I'm just going to go ahead and throw a little bit of this Colt 45 in here as well. Just to kind of thin it out a little bit, because what's going to happen is when these ribs get cooked down, we're going to pour this sauce off, and that's going to be our glaze. So I have 2 layers of tin foil down, or not tin foil, aluminum foil down on here. We're going to foil these back up. I'm going to let them go back out on the grill for about 2 more hours and we'll check them then. These ribs just came off of the grill after being on there for about an hour and a half. I thought that was enough. What we're going to do now is kind of drain this juice off of here. Now I tasted this sauce a little bit earlier and it looked like it needed to be sweetened up with a little something. So first of all, we're going to add a little bit more of the Szechuan sauce to the juice. Then we're going to hit it with some honey just to kind of sweeten it up a little bit. You know what? Let's just get into it. Boom. Get that honey in there. Mix it up. Now I'm going to take these ribs over to the grill and we'll glaze them up. So let's go ahead and glaze these bad boys down. Just going to put a nice little coat on. I might put about 2 coats on. I'm going to let these stay on this grill probably for about another 45 minutes to an hour. I'm just going to get a thin coat on the bottom. We are going to flip it back over, but I at least wanted to get a little something on there. Like I said, we will be coating these again. The next time I coat it, I'm just going to flip it over and get the bottom, let it go a little bit longer, then we will get the top one last time. So I glazed the back of these ribs off camera. I'm just going to flip them over, glaze up this other side. This is going to be the last bit of glaze that I put on. We're going to let this set probably about another 15-20 minutes. Then it should be a wrap. This is a done deal. It's time to cut up a couple of these pieces and see if that Szechuan sauce and that chicken and rib rub from Tango Spice Company did its job. Let's flip them over. Ooh, that looks real good. There's one for you. I'd have to throw up a little picture of this nice little smoke ring on that bad boy. Mm-hmm. Anyway, go ahead and taste it.
It's a little sweet, not too sweet. Good seasoning. Meat's perfectly tender.
That sauce is some good stuff. Anyway, I'm going to stop chewing right now. This stuff is good to go. Anyway, if you guys are looking for some good seasoning, check out Tango Spice Company. Like I said, link in the description. And Sal at the Root Boy Cooks. Thanks for sending me that Szechuan sauce. I wanted to use it a little bit different than it was intended to be used. So anybody out there looking for another channel to take a look at, he usually posts videos every Friday and has a good beer. Anyway, thanks for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.